last light. Whiskey round table. Oh, Greg, Karen, and the whiskey wizard talking facts and tastings. They've got you covered. Whiskey round table. Oh.
Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
What's up, kids?
Sorry, we were a little sidetracked. I'm trying to...
There
technology.
Oh
There
my
you go.
gosh.
Technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I turned down our smoke
Smoke
filter
eater, yeah.
in here
Yes.
because we have it like before the show starts. We have it like on turbo, like which is literally the setting because it gets so smoky. But it's so loud, I didn't want it to pick
Yes,
it up, and I couldn't get it to turn off before the show went on, and I got a little nervous. But
Yes. So everything, for the quality of the show, right? So it's still a little cold out there, but
Yeah.
it's
sunny,
March
right?
and it's feeling a little bit more like spring. I don't know. There's something
Supposed to be in the
something
60s,
in the
50s,
air.
and
I think.
60s next week.
Yeah, it's gonna. Monday is 56.
But it
and
rained,
we're
but
good.
that's okay. We'll take it.
Monday's nice, I think. But anyway, yeah. But
Put
it's
my
warming
phone
up,
on,
so
get
I'll
out
take
there.
it. And yeah.
the bobbleheads are ready for the spring.
Bobbleheads are ready.
Well, it's Irish Whiskey Month
Mhm.
here on the Whiskey Roundtable. Well, not only here on the Whiskey Roundtable, but everywhere, I guess.
I'd like to thank Shauna for our wonderful decorations.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you, Shauna. Miss Shauna.
Yes.
Always
we have
sleeping. Beautiful. What do you got? Oh, sorry.
Thank you, honey. It's very nice.
Thought you dozed off. Killing me.
I do what I can.
That's
I
all right.
do what I
You're
can.
doing a good job. Doing a good job.
Oh, Dougie Fresh.
I'll try to do better next time.
Sorry, try again.
Yes. Okay. How's I know it's not been the best week for all of us, but
rough week, man.
it has been.
For sure.
Oh,
It's
this
been
week
a-
has sucked.
Yeah, it
it's
sure
been-
is.
Well, anyway, but we're ready. It's Friday, and we're ready for this.
Yep.
Ready.
I'm about half a bottle in. I'm ready for anything.
Shoot. That's all?
That's it, girl.
You better hurry up and catch up,
Oh
son.
shit! We got a busy day tomorrow.
Anyway, your brother Steve is on watching tonight, so
My
I know
brother
you
Steve
wanted
is-
to
Oh, shit.
talk a little bit about him.
So I wanted to. I want the Whiskey Roundtable. The show tonight is dedicated to my brother Steve Williams in Texas. He's in Oklahoma, and I want to give a shout out to Mom and Dad, Stan and Verna. So I just want to say hello to Mom and Dad. I haven't seen them in a while, and usually they come up a couple times a year, and we hang out and have a good time. So.
You make him Brussels sprouts, which he never even knew he liked.
He's like, the first time I made Brussels sprouts, he's like, man, I don't know what this is, but I really like it. It's really good. This was Steve's dad, and she says, Myrna says, what did you make, Greg? I said, I made Brussels sprouts, and he goes, I don't eat Brussels sprouts. I go, well, you eating them now?
You do now.
So that's always one of their things. They come in and is like, can you make me Brussels sprouts? Of course I can, but too funny. But yeah, we miss them. We haven't seen them in a while. And my friends, all my friends, when they come in town, they have their own agenda. When Stan and Myrna come in, I call them Mom and Dad. When Mom and Dad come in, and I've known these people my whole life, right? So
Poor them.
yeah,
Oh.
poor them. But they still love me. I'm their only son. I just want you to know.
You're not their
So,
only white son, though.
I'm not their only white son. You're exactly right. We got Stan Jr. and Steve, two whitest black people I ever know.
I was going to say, you're the only black son they have.
I'm the only black son you got, Mom and Dad. You know how it is. So, yo. So anyway.
He said mom and dad say hey, by the way.
Busy weekend as usual, or
Yeah. Oh
you guys
yeah.
hanging out?
Mm-hmm. So besides my brother's birthday, why I want to dedicate the show to him is because he's the guy that supplied the whiskey tonight. So you got a bottle cam up on this?
I got a bottle cam. Should we go?
Well, yeah, with this, yeah, we can do it now.
All right.
You
let's
want
do
to?
it.
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
So my brother Steven, you can't get that in the States. So he was able to acquire a case of it, and he gave me a bottle before I was drinking whiskey. And that bottle sat here for, I don't know.
This particular one?
This in particular bottle. That
You
bottle's-
probably thought it was wine. You're like, oh, it's
Yeah,
wine.
I don't know how long I've had it, Steve. You probably know better than me, but I would say 5 or 6 years that I've had that bottle. So
Wow.
he has a bottle that he left with me, along with some other scotches and bourbons and whiskeys, and I packed that one away for him if he ever wants to drink it. If not, you can drink mine. I'll keep that one. But anyway, so I just want to say again, Steve, happy birthday to you.
Happy
and
birthday, yeah.
I appreciate everything that you do. I love you. I love you much.
Happy birthday, Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve.
You know when that 216 comes up?
216.
It's
anyway.
a Steve Harvey stand-up
Oh, yeah.
thing. It's funny. Just it fits Steve so well. Anyway.
It does fit Steve so well.
All right. So what are you smoking tonight?
I'm
Pete?
smoking a CAO Gold, as they call it. It's one of their flagship cigars, and it's a Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper with Nicaraguan binder and filler. So that's what I'm smoking. Great cigar. I love this cigar. It's a good cigar.
So when you say a Connecticut wrapper, what is
Very light wrapper.
It's a
Very
light-
light. Yeah, very light wrapper.
That's a
lightly
specific
gold.
type of leaf, then?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know a lot about cigars, and I don't know if you know this answer. So the wrapper is Connecticut, but the tobacco leaves inside, are they the same? Are they different than the wrapper?
They're different than the wrapper. So Ecuadorian, Connecticut wrapper, and then the filler is Nicaraguan. The filler and the binder is all Nicaraguan tobacco. So it's
So it's more the Maduro.
yeah. So kind
that
of
you
so
like,
basically
or-
what that does, the blend between the two, the Nicaraguan and the Ecuadorian wrapper, the difference is, even though that you say, well, how could a wrapper change a cigar? It changes it dramatically, because this would be basically a medium body cigar, and if it was all Nicaraguan tobacco, it would be a little bit heavier. It'd be more like a medium to full body. So that's the difference. If that makes sense to you.
No, it does. I didn't realize that the wrapper could be different from the tobacco
Absolutely.
inside. So that's cool. I didn't know. I learn something new every day.
That's what I'm talking about, kids.
So, and I'm sorry, we got one more story.
Yeah.
This weekend, Greg brought out the special cigars, which you never ever smoke.
So I had a box of Soprano cigars that I've had for 21 years. So I had a box of 20 cigars, and we had the last half of those cigars on Saturday. I brought them out, it was a special occasion, and it was a good group of people hanging out, cigar smokers, bourbon guys, and who contribute. Obviously, my partner Dave Somrock, Royal Havana Cigars, give him a shout out,
Yay.
who supplies us with a lot of stuff, and some guys in from from Wisconsin, and a good friend of mine, and all that. And so we're all cigar smokers. So I decided to pull that last half of Soprano cigars that I had, and we smoked them. So
And you smoked it down to like
everybody
I was about ready
smoked
to
it to
give
their
you a
finger
roach
burn.
clip, man.
And I had a lot of people say it's one of the best cigars I've ever smoked. So
Nice.
luckily, I got to give a shout out to Jonathan Fiant. He's a friend of Steve's as well. That's how I met him
Timing
years
is
ago.
impeccable.
And he's always the guy that gets me my Soprano cigars. But it was sad to see that box go. But for all of you that are listening, I have another.
But you kept the box,
That
didn't you?
certainly
I know.
doesn't suck.
I gave the box away. I
I'm
gave the box
sorry.
away.
What did
So-
you say? What did you say there?
I didn't say
We missed what Siri said.
That certainly doesn't suck.
It certainly doesn't suck.
So I gave the box away. The Soprano box. It's a Cadillac tail trunk box, and those boxes sell for $100, $200 on.
It's really cool.
Yeah. But I
really
gave it
cool
away as a
looking.
gift. There was a guy that asked me, a good friend of mine asked me, would you sell me some of those Soprano cigars? And I'm like, nah, I'm not selling anything. There was one cigar left in the box. I gave it to Dave, my cigar partner, and I said, give this to Nunzio and tell him. So anyway, long story short.
Nice Irish guy, right?
Nice Irish guy. So Dave forgot to give it to him. So when I went there Wednesday, was it Wednesday?
Yes.
I went there Wednesday. You know, all my days run together. I went there Wednesday, and Dave goes like, "Holy cow! I forgot to give this to Nunzio." So I gave it to him, and he was another one. Smoked that cigar right till his fingers burned, but he wanted to give me the box back. I said, "Put it on your shelf. Keep it as a trophy." So he was all giddy. So it worked out well. If you can find those cigars today, they're obsolete since the series ended.
The show?
No more. The series, yeah, the show Sopranos ended. That's how long I've had those cigars. So Jonathan has always been able to find me Soprano cigars, and I have many different versions of Soprano cigars and boxes of Soprano cigars that people don't even know exist. So, but if you can find that cigar today, it's $100.
Just one cigar?
One cigar.
That's redonkulous.
But it
really
smokes
is.
like $100 cigar. I know my brother Steven has smoked many of them. He actually got me the sampler pack. Steven, when he had the cigar lounge, he sent me, I think, 5 or 6 of those, Steve. I remember they were a 5-pack. And I have those in my big humidor over here. So I have multiple boxes. So it's cool. So one of these days, maybe I'll display them out here so everybody can see what I'm talking
Before
about.
we move on, just want to ask you guys real quick: do you guys do most of your shopping online now? Or
No.
yeah, we do. We probably get three deliveries today, like
Today?
a day. 3. Like,
Wow.
it just seems like that's about our average, something like that.
You got issues, man.
No, we don't we don't drive around and shop that much anymore. We're keeping Amazon.
You got to
going.
get out,
That's
man.
good.
You got to get out in the sun, man. Vitamin D, man. Come on.
Not in Cleveland. There's not much,
All right.
dude. Come on.
DC. Deliberately cloudy.
Yeah.
I just
We
wrote
just-
that. I'm here all night, just so you're wondering.
This gets to where every once in a while somebody actually comes to the door.
Yeah.
And like knocks on it.
You probably
We had a-
talked to him for 20 minutes. Like,
He's
a friend.
Well, we had a guy
he's
that
setting something up.
we had a guy that a guy came.
You had a guy who had a guy?
He came by asking for. Well, they're trying to build a swimming pool in our development. He asked for small donations, so I went. I gave him a glass of water.
Oh, my. Da-da-dum.
Wow, pardon my French, but that's just fucked up.
Oh, that was right. All right, I have to
You're
drink.
stupid.
That
Hey,
was
girl.
the wrong one.
Hey, fill me up, because, am I an orphan over
All
here?
right.
Oh,
well,
shit. If everyone else is drinking, I better drink too. Shit. I can't be behind the game here. Can't be behind the game.
No, you got to get in the game. You can't be behind the
missed
game. You
you,
got to
if
get
I
in
You
the
out, you out the
You
game?
on
You in the
that.
game? You out the game? I didn't know you was out the game. You back
If
in
the
the game?
computer miscues.
Just
then I-
checking. Okay. Well, it's like you got to be a little.
I have nothing to do with it.
See, this is the kind of show you get
gotta
when
be
you
a
have
little
a
bit
really bad week.
You got to
just,
be a little quicker on your butthole finger, son. Sorry. Go ahead. Where we
What
going?
are you doing with your butthole?
All right. Well, I think it's time to get
Hey.
into tasting some whiskey. What do you think?
I
There's
think-
a whiskey.
I think
show.
it's
Let's
a
get on.
great idea.
All right.
Great idea.
Okay. So, well, we've already learned what bottle we've got today, and we're gonna taste some Michael Collins Irish Single Malt whiskey. Karen,
I think you should go back to the scroll and
tell us.
scroll and see what everybody's laughing about right now.
Oh no, it's kind of it's quiet.
Is it
People
quiet?
people are watching.
Yeah.
Jen Boggs just said she's drinking some Booker's Teresa's batch, and I said, "What is that?"
What is that?
She said Booker's puts out 4 editions a year, and Teresa's batch is the first from 2019. Steve agrees with you that it's a good smoke. He remembers, and he's like, "Smoke 'em if you got 'em, brother." Okay.
Thanks, bro.
Okay, so we're back to Michael Collins. So I will just preface whatever I'm going to say in the next couple minutes is it was very difficult to find information on this whiskey. The first thing that grabbed my attention was Michael Collins. Who is he? And what I didn't realize is he is an Irish war hero.
Revolutionary soldier and politician who was a leading figure in the early 20th century.
He was. He's affectionately known as the Big Fellow. So if you look on the bottle at the top, it says the Big Fellow. He was a soldier in the Irish War for Independence from 1919 to 1921. And he was the architect, or said to be the architect, of the Anglo-English Treaty of 1921, which gave Ireland its freedom from Britain. So I didn't really...
He was actually the interim prime minister of the
Pretty much.
Fledgling Irish Republic, and he died quite young. He was assassinated at the age of 32.
31 actually.
31? Okay.
Yeah, in 1922. It was as the Irish Civil War was coming to an end. He was assassinated in Cork, and which is in the south of Ireland. So he kind of felt like nothing's going to get to me in my country. But unfortunately, they were able to assassinate him in a road stop. Wow. So it was very interesting. And as I was reading through the history, I never realized, when I was growing up, I heard a lot about on the news the IRA and the Irish Republican Army and all of that stuff. And
yeah, it seems as we were growing up, it was in the news a lot.
Yeah, and I never really knew much about it. So it was interesting doing the research for this whiskey to kind of get a little insight of that and learn about the Irish history and the Revolution and where they came from. So it was pretty cool. I'm a big history nerd, Mark, nothing like you.
But he
or
did
anything.
a lot of good things for the Irish people, and it's just amazing when you read like what some of these people like Michael Collins did, and then you realize why he only lived to be 31. Like it kind of makes me feel a little inadequate.
Right? I still
But I
haven't
haven't
peaked.
done nearly as much in many more years than that.
But although he did die at 31, his spirit lives on through this
Amen.
whiskey.
Right. Good way to bring it back, Karen, to the whiskey. Good. So
Every once in a while, I throw a bone.
Yeah, nice.
So anyways, a little bit about the whiskey. It's distilled, blended, and aged and bonded by the only independent Irish-owned distillery in Ireland, which they didn't name. So I think it was Cooley, but every time I would try to get some information, it took me to another website. So there is a brand of Michael Collins that was recently taken over by Sazerac. It wasn't this particular bottle, so I unfortunately wasn't able to do enough history to be able to determine if it was.
I think they own the brand Michael Collins. So I'm
She
sure.
go to the bathroom. Will you leash her and take her out? Thank you. Sorry.
Right in the street. Just let her stay there.
Yeah. Tie her to the mailbox.
Some car will come by
Just
and
tie her
pick
to
her
the
up.
mailbox.
The dog's barking. In case
I have my 9
everybody
millimeters in
couldn't hear
the
that.
thing next to the door. If you want to just get rid of her, that's fine. We'll
Anywho,
figure it
sits.
out tomorrow. Sorry.
That's okay. But I'm sorry. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the distillery, whoever they may be, they're the only distillery in Ireland to use peated barley, which I know strikes your fancy right
Now,
there.
I don't know if all the Michael Collins offerings are, but this one tonight we're going to sample is. It does have some peated malt in it, which is very unique for an Irish whiskey. So I'm kind of anxious to try this because it's going to be definitely a little bit out of the normal range for Irish whiskey. So.
Unique.
I've never had it. I know you can't get it in the States, and my brother Steve liked this when he was across the country, so to say, doing all his different things for BP, and he says you got to try this. I've never had it, so again, going to be interesting. It's been sitting on my shelf for a long time, and I just thought it'd be a great thing to try.
When we'd sit here every
what a perfect day to do it, man.
Every
Perfect
Friday
day to
evening
do it.
that I was here, I'd look right past you, and it was always sitting right on that shelf. And I always thought it was
What
an
is it?
interesting
Yeah.
bottle. Like Shauna said earlier before the show, it looks more like a bottle of champagne
It
or
does.
something.
It does.
A
than
rosé.
a whiskey.
Yeah.
And
So-
Steve, believe it or not, we did not take your birthday into consideration. We picked this bottle to do today, like 2 weeks ago.
We put it on the counter
Yeah.
weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago to do. Yeah, you're right. It's been a couple of weeks.
Oh,
It has
sure.
been. Yeah, we sat
So
here
it
in
just
early
happened-
February and
So
mapped
it
stuff
was
out.
meant to be, man. So it was meant to be.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So
That's
great.
really cool.
Well, I'm anxious to give it a try.
All right, you should
I'm
buy some.
anxious. So prior to it sitting on Greg's bar
Yeah,
for months, it is double distilled in a small, long-necked copper pot still, anywhere between 8 and 12 years.
Okay.
And then it is
Thank you.
it's distilled in special selected bourbon cases, which are housed in an 18th century.
Casks.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my dog's barking and totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bourbon
I'm
cask.
gonna
Yeah,
go
which
upstairs.
is not in and of itself that's probably common, but
And it's housed
Yeah.
18th century stone warehouses. So,
yeah.
and it's 80 proof. That's what I got on the
Nice.
product.
So yeah, stone warehouse. You're gonna have lots of the Irish elements getting in there and doing its thing. So
Is that your Irish or your Scottish?
that's my Irish. That's me Irish, don't you know?
Oh, me Lucky Charms.
That's
Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. That's the only Irish I know. I grew up watching cartoons on Saturday morning. All right, so that's what I got, kids.
All
okay.
right.
Well, time to taste. Let's do it.
So let's pass this baby around. It is a nice light amber color, I see.
Oh yes,
Most Irish whiskeys, in
very much a malt whiskey.
in my personal opinion, they seem to drink light. No.
Well, it's a malt whiskey, right? So you're gonna. That's the typical color.
What do you got on the
Yes,
straw?
Jen, we are lively tonight. Yes, we are very lively. We've been sitting down here drinking since what? Well, I'll speak for myself. 5:30. So, anyway.
Steven, you said something about karma. Where are you going with that? I didn't hear it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
It seems a little heavy to me.
Ooh, that's a different smell. I'm not going to throw out my first thought because it's just not appropriate.
Let me clean up.
You know
here.
what I get? I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I'm not catching much peat on the nose. Maybe ever so much, but I definitely get oak, and I would say leather.
Leather.
Some good, good Irish saddle horse leather there.
I get a ton of fruit out of it.
Yeah.
I
I'm getting a little bit of spice, maybe some.
I'm not getting any ethanol out of it at all.
No.
No
not getting
ethanol.
Any alcohol.
I get the smokiness to it on the nose, and I agree with you on the horse leather. Yes.
I could go with a little bit of smoke. I don't get the leather out of it.
Ooh.
I get a lot of fruit out of it, man. Like apricot.
There
or
is some light
honey, maybe.
fruit and a little bit of honey.
That's about.
Which, that's not. I mean, that's pretty traditional
standard,
Irish whiskey
sure.
stuff. But
Should we give it a little taste,
let's
kids?
do
I
it.
will tell you, I'm comparing it to my Jameson on the nose.
Oh shit!
And it's totally different. I will say it is a very unique nose for me. It is.
I get like apricot or peach out
There
of
is
it.
There is definitely some.
It's definitely fruit,
light
man.
fruits.
There's a lot of fruit there. A lot of orange fruit, so to say.
All right, are we doing this, kids?
All right, let's do it. Ready?
Ooh.
Oh my God, is that good?
I get even more apricot
I do too.
and a little bit of pepper, some vanilla,
Yeah.
toffee.
Yep. I get that.
That's
That's real nice.
Holy smokes, is that
Oh,
good?
you like-
Brother, I could see why you gave me that bottle. I get it.
You're not getting it back, Steve?
Yeah, you can get it back.
Not today, brother. No. Do you guys
I
want to
don't
try
really-
some of
when
this? It is really
you
freaking
guys-
good.
I don't get any peat, I have to say.
No.
I mean, but maybe because I'm comparing it to Scottish whiskey.
Steve, if you want to drink this when you come back to Ohio, it's like $5 a pour.
Grab those glasses.
So just
What are we looking?
The glasses right behind the bobbleheads, yes.
yeah.
I want the gals to try this because it's, wow. It is, I will say, heavy on the apricot. I will say a little bit of peach. The nose, to
right,
me,
helps.
the nose is so different from the taste.
I'll bring it too. I'll bring it over.
I don't know. What does Siri think?
That certainly doesn't suck.
No, it's good.
No, it certainly doesn't suck. Hey now.
I broke a few of those glasses.
Yeah, well,
Very expensive.
it happens.
Wow.
Nice pepper,
Wow.
vanilla, toffee, and definitely that kind of light fruit, apricot. Maybe a little bit of pear.
The nose will fool you.
It's this is a
It's a fruit bouquet
is this
right there. Oh, I just got smoke out of it right now. I literally just got smoke out of it.
So this is a single malt Irish whiskey, which means that it's only malted barley is all they use. They pure pot still means they would use, in addition to malted barley, they would use some unmalted barley and maybe some other grains with it. But
I literally
I
just
just
got, I
think-
literally got this just at the last breath. I just got smoke out of it, but before that, I didn't get any smoke out of it. It's nice. It's beautiful.
Oh my
maybe
God.
ever so much on the finish, I get a little smoke. But
Just want you to know this is the first and last time you're going to drink that, just so you know. I'm just teasing.
I know where you live. Sorry.
that is,
Wow.
I
What do you guys do? You
uh,
I get a lot of pear.
pear,
Yeah. Pepper, little pepper.
little pepper?
Now I'm starting to get I'm getting more of the smoke than the fruit right now. Honest to
That
God,
happened to me too after.
it's nice. Did you get
you're
it?
getting some smoke?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Like 3 drinks of it.
Yeah, it
Not
took
at
me a
first.
couple of drinks. It took me a
Yeah.
couple of sips for sure. It's nice. It's beautiful.
I really like this
I do
one.
too.
Mm.
That's a high score
I-
right there.
What are you
I
getting
don't
done?
know. Yeah, I just like I said, I got the apricot much stronger on the palate than the nose. I got a lot of leather on the nose. I don't get that so much
I didn't
on
get
the
any
palate.
of that.
Maybe that's a good thing. But spice and vanilla, toffee, and then just a hint of smoke on the finish.
I won't say that it's I won't say it's long, but it's definitely not short. But man, I'll tell you what, the aftertaste what I'm tasting right now is pure smoke. It's really good. It's really good.
It is amazing.
Really good.
It's amazing. So the notes I picked up on it, which I don't know if I agree with some of this, but it said the aromas of chocolate. No
None.
chocolate.
No chocolate.
Light-
I usually get cocoa with
Yeah,
most Irish whiskey, but I don't get that so much with this one.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I get no cocoa.
More the light fruit than and some toffee maybe, but not the cocoa.
What's it say?
With light citrus and honeysuckle notes.
I get the honey.
On the nose.
Is it? No, not. I got it on the nose. I said that on the nose.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
okay.
honey on the nose.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I did get the honey on the nose, and I didn't get any cocoa on it at all. But at first, when you said smoke and all that leather, I still haven't got the leather, but I definitely get the smoke out of it. But man, I'll tell you what, it's a flavor bomb, man. It's good.
Ooh, it's really good. Taste, it's, again, this was hard to find. It just says smoky with dried fruit. Pretty vague there. But the finish, long finish,
Okay.
rich apple and honey, and it's more sweet than bitter.
I did not get any apple out of it. Maybe I did. But
I didn't
don't-
get any
I didn't
apple.
get any
Nothing.
apple out of
I wouldn't say apple.
it. It's
But
fantastic.
pear, maybe that's what it is. It's dry fruit, like dried. You know, have you ever had those dried apricots?
Sure,
That's kind of
sure.
That's kind of what I get.
Yeah, I hear you. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right.
Man, I really am a
I'm gonna-
fan.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
finish it
I do
because
like
I want
that.
to know what's in the next
So,
glass.
so because I like it so much, I am going to go there and tell you what I first got on the nose that I didn't want to say.
Okay.
And I'm sorry,
Hmm.
but this is just my opinion. I smelled cow pies.
Cow pies.
Cow pies.
Well,
Where are you going with that?
A lot of Irish whiskey.
Cow
you
pie.
get-
Like,
you
it
get- you
smelled
get
like
the
a
grassy,
Farm field.
grassy farm. Yeah, you can. I've heard.
Cow
people
pie is
say
probably not the right description. But
Well, no, like fertilizer. Like I got that. My
I hear it.
opinion.
I hear it. I hear it.
My opinion, and I was a little scared to try it, but I will tell you, it's amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Me too.
I'm a fan.
Me too.
I would.
I think I'm gonna pour a little more.
Shauna likes honey on the nose.
Set that one
Hey, it's
a
a
little bit
family
back
show,
this way.
girl.
It took
Send
me
it
like
back this way.
took me like 30 seconds to get the cork off, and I realized it was a twist bottle. But anyway,
Steve, why are you calling Greg a cheap ass?
yeah. Why do you call
Could
me?
you expand on that a little
Did
bit?
you didn't? What was the karma, brother? You didn't say something about karma. We pass that down.
Because he was reluctant to
Can I pour
share
some?
more of the whiskey.
Maybe $5 a pour.
Kiss my what?
Yeah.
Huh? What'd you say?
That's beautiful. Absolutely. I see, Steve. I see why you bought a whole case of 12. I get it. I get it now.
So
And it was long before I drank anything. You know me better than most. So
Lindsay says I may have to try this one. Yes,
I
Lindsay.
think I think this is one that Lindsay might like. It's very soft, fruity. You know, what?
Jennifer Boggs, cow pie's on the nose. That should be published. I'm sorry, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. I didn't want to say it.
You know what? That is. We give the scores. We record the scores, but we don't really record people's our
Oh my
little
gosh.
verbal impressions on things, and that might be a good one. But Karen, since you've, why don't you go ahead and give us your score?
I will after I read this note from
okay.
Nick T. Leather is a sexy smell.
Yes, it is.
Amen.
Gorilla, that smoke note is your yearning for the batch of bacon I've got in the brine.
My brother NT, I love you.
Nick.
He's something else, man.
Hey,
I
it's
love
almost time to fry up those dandelions,
him.
Nick.
Amen, dog. Amen.
Come on now.
Nick, I just have to embarrass him a minute. So Nick is what I consider a good old boy, and I mean that as a complimentary term. That guy has taught me a lot of stuff about just basically living off the land. So, good dude, solid guy. Me and him been friends for a long time, and I like to go over and hang out with him, like on a Saturday morning and smoke a cigar. And
So step one
he-
on
he-
living off the land is acquire lots of whiskey.
So it does. So Nick doesn't really drink at all. But anyway, long story short, we like to smoke cigars, and he makes breakfast outside. He's got his fire pit and the swing-in, so to say, grill, if you will. And I get lost. It's like being in Vegas. You get lost, and I get there like maybe 8 o'clock. Sometimes I don't even announce that I'm coming. And he'll build a fire, and we'll sit out there. And the next thing I know, it's like 1 o'clock. And I'm like, holy shit, Nick, I got to get the hell out of here. But this guy can do anything. We always say, if shit goes down, we're packing, and we're headed to Nick's house. And then Nick says, if anything ever happens, G, I'm packing, I'm coming to your house.
How long will it take us to load all this bourbon and whiskey?
Yeah, right. He'll help us, trust me.
Nick said, stop.
He's got a shotgun, a rifle, and a 4-wheel drive. That's all I care about.
That sounds like a country song. I got a shotgun, a 4-wheel drive. How'd you say that?
A shotgun, a rifle, and a 4-wheel drive.
That is a country song
it
right
is.
there.
He's a good dude, man. I love him. I love him to death.
Nick, my brother, says Steve.
All right. So Karen, back to you.
All right,
Scores.
so we're rating. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me try a little bit more.
Just trying to keep the show moving along. folks.
Sorry, kids.
Somebody's
That's
got
all
to do it. I am extremely, extremely impressed with this one. I'm going 4.5.
Oh, wow. 4.5.
Hey, Karen Helen Keller, you really got it, sister.
Okay. No, that's definitely a great score. This is a nice whiskey. I'm gonna, it's for me, for that's 4.0 is kind of the range where, I need to have this. It's maybe, I can't be without it. I would put it maybe, I'm gonna go just a hair below that. I'm gonna say 3.95 for me. 3.95. It's
Great score.
it's a great whiskey, no doubt.
My turn?
Yeah.
Big G. What
All
you
right.
got?
Big G says 4.35.
Wow. 4.35 for Big G. That's a great score. So that means, by our definition, that is something you have to have on your
Absolutely.
show.
Good
And
luck.
that means, that's the reason I didn't
Good
give
luck.
That's the reason I didn't give it a 4, because I know how hard it's going to be to get. So
No, I am really
but
amazed by this.
it's quite good.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank
Great.
you.
It's a great dram, man.
Nick, if you didn't catch it, my brother says hey to you, by the way.
Don't give him too much praise. You know how he gets.
Who? Steve or Nick?
Steve.
Don't say that. That's not true.
I'm kidding. He's my brother. I can talk to him like that.
He's my only white brother.
Oh my gosh, you've embarrassed Nick.
That's all right.
Oh, my gosh.
Embarrassed Nick.
Karen, you know what we need?
What?
Another bottle can.
We need another bottle
Bottle
can.
can, let's do
Bottle
it.
can.
Let's give it some
do it.
love
Let's
for
do
the
it.
Michael Collins.
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Look at nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So once again, Big G gives it a 4.35. Karen at a whopping 4.5, and me just slide in under 4 at 3.95. So nice whiskey. Just a perfect one to start out our Irish whiskey.
I wish I had more
I wish
of
we were
this.
sitting at the
I
beach.
wish I had more, exactly.
I wish I had a bigger wiener.
Me too.
It's
You too?
time for
I wish she had a bigger wiener. Sorry, we're back. Coming back. Uh-oh.
Say that again.
I wish he had a bigger wiener.
There we go. Or maybe it's okay.
Yeah. The zoinker.
All right. So it's time for the Whiskey Wizard.
All right,
It's
kids.
time to go to the Whiskey
It's
Wizard.
time to go to the
It's
Whiskey
time
Wizard.
to go to the
All
wizard.
right, kids. How long
We'll
are we
be
going
talking
to
a
be?
little more about the whiskey, the Irish whiskey industry.
How long are we going to be, kids? Any
How long are we
idea?
going to be on the wizard?
6 minutes or
All right, kids.
something,
We'll
I
be
don't
right
know.
back.
6 fun-filled minutes.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back. Hang on, and here it comes.
Whiskey Wizard! It's the Whiskey Wizard!
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. Good evening! I'm sure most of you have searched for and bought whiskey online, as well as searching the local and not so local brick and mortar establishments for that something special. Somewhere in that searching you've probably come across private bottlings, which brings us to tonight's topic: independent or private whiskey bottlings. If you're into Scottish whiskey like I am, you've no doubt come across offerings out there from names like Cadenhead, Gordon and MacPhail, and Signatory, to name a few. For the longest time, I've steered away from these, I guess mostly out of ignorance. But I've since come to learn about the many great opportunities these independent bottlers provide for whiskey collectors and general enthusiasts like all of us. It has actually been somewhat of a common practice in the whiskey industry for at least a century that distillers would sell barrels of whiskey to blenders and independent bottlers. And some distilleries have come to where they are not marketing any brands themselves. In the United States, Old Forester was the first whiskey sold in glass bottles, and this was introduced in the 1870s by an independent bottler. The brand was created to promote using a sealed bottle, whereby the customer could be assured that the whiskey met the quality standard of the brand and had not been tampered with or adulterated by anyone. In addition, a distillery might also pass on barrels of whiskey to ensure product consistency. If a particular barrel's flavor is notably different, or the head distiller feels it may be uncharacteristic of the profile used in their official product, they may offer that barrel to an independent bottler. Whiskeys bottled by an independent bottler may or may not be labeled with the distillery of origin, but most often they do not use any distillery's trademark logos and images, but rather they have come up with their own branding. Some whiskeys that are bottled by private bottlers have no distillery identification. These may be referred to as secret bottlings. The distiller may be unnamed because the distilleries that produce them only want their name associated with the whiskeys they release. According to Forbes, independent Scottish whiskey bottlers may source and select barrels from a number of distilleries, so they're able to treat them as they see fit. Some of them buy new make spirit and then mature it themselves, while others seek out particularly good casks of already matured whiskey. Either way, independent bottlers take their finds and bottle them. And because the barrel selection process is thorough, consumers almost always get spectacular limited edition whiskey. And of course, most of them are rare and hard to find by definition, as the yield for each cask is only a few hundred bottles. Okay, let's look at some of these. First, Gordon and MacPhail. They offered long-aged whiskeys for a long time. G&M started aging whiskey for much longer than their competitors. Before they started doing this, most malt whiskey was sold after only 5 or 8 years of aging. Apparently, their warehouses in Elgin would be a thrill for any whiskey fan as they contain some of the oldest and rarest whiskeys in the world. Cadenheads. This is the oldest independent bottler in Scotland, dating back to 1842. They have a very traditional attitude to bottling whiskey, stating that it's bottled when it's remarkable instead of marketable. This means that releases from this bottler will always have a captivated audience of genuine whiskey fans. Signatory was founded in 1988 by Andrew Symington of Edinburgh. It is now one of the most recognized bottlers out there with a focus on utter purity, using single casks of hand-selected whiskeys and not changing or diluting them in any way. Next, we have Douglas Lang and Hunter Lang. Until 2013, the two companies operated together until brothers Fred and Stuart Lang decided to go separate ways. Fred headed up Douglas Lang and initially focused on blended malts, while Stuart founded Hunter Lang and bottled single cask whiskeys. Both brothers are apparently passionate about the whiskey industry and have invested significantly in building their own distilleries. Douglas Lang's Clutha Distillery in Glasgow, due to open this year, and Hunter Lang's Ardnahoe Distillery on Islay. We just talked about that on a recent Whiskey Roundtable show. Okay, how about the Scotch Malt Whisky Society? Although the SMWS bottles are only available to members, we should include it in our discussion. The Scotch Malt Whisky Society started as a small gathering of friends over 30 years ago. They each were inspired by a single cask of Speyside single malt whiskey they had once tried, and they all remarked at how unique they thought it was. The SMWS is now a privately owned company. Their mission is still the same: judge the whiskey by what's in the glass, not what's on the label. As such, bottles are given a code and a quirky name. The code refers to the distillery, and the liquid comes from the name that indicates a little bit about the character of the whiskey. That's all. And you'll have to be a member if you want to participate. According to the Whiskey Advocate, Ewan Shand, chairman of Duncan Taylor, established in 1938, another independent bottling concern, says, "I have never been keen on the expression independent bottler. It does not explain our modus operandi in any way. Bottling is, of course, an integral part of the process, but we are not just mere bottlers, and I prefer Scotch Whisky Company," pointing out that their work in cask innovation and their range of single malt grain whiskeys ought to be noted. Now, independent bottlers, or indies as they are called, are making their ways into the realm of American whiskeys as well. More often they are blending whiskeys such as Barrel Craft Bourbon does, taking from many distilleries to fashion their creations, while some may border on the practices of the Scottish indies, such as Proof and Wood, with products such as Redemption Rye. We can expect the number of indies to increase for American whiskeys as well, so we'll pick this up on our next episode as we discuss the practice of contract distilling. Independent or private bottlers provide another avenue of richness for us to walk down in our ambling discovery of the thing we love, known as whiskey. We on the Whiskey Roundtable know that our fans are independent thinkers who love their water of life. This is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard for the Whiskey Roundtable. Cheers, Langeva, and now let's go back to the live show.
All right, Dougie,
Okay,
Dougie.
well, some of you might have noticed that that episode of the Whiskey Wizard had absolutely nothing to do with Irish whiskey. So we had a little bit of a snafu trying to get the files uploaded today, and
You got a woof 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 on there?
so we really, it's my fault, but that was supposed to air some weeks from now, but it aired today. So,
Hey, Whiskey Wizard, I'm real proud of you.
yeah, not my best moment. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. We'll do Irish whiskey the next 2 times.
You know what,
Even though
though?
one of those times will be after Easter, but that's
No
You know,
worries, man.
there can be no bad whiskey wizard. So it doesn't matter if it went with the show
Well, I
or didn't
appreciate
go with
that,
the
but-
theme. Doug, you do a great job.
You do.
Great asset
But
to
I
the
hope
team
everybody
here.
enjoyed learning a little bit more about independent bottlings.
Awesome.
So we'll cover Irish whiskey on the next two.
Yeah, that's
Whiskey
fine.
Wizard,
No worries.
so-
Shit
yeah,
happens.
yeah,
no
you
big
know.
deal.
Well,
I-
you know,
We're not here to be perfect.
no.
How'd that bottle get so empty? Wait,
What do you expect? This is the Whiskey Roundtable.
So,
how'd that bottle get so empty? What happened?
I think Shauna
Doug,
and, Marion
Doug,
have
the
been
whiskey
pretty-
wizard put that in a in a paper bag, and next thing I know, that was all that was left.
This is great. I appreciate the extra pour, G, and it's
Amen.
worth every bit of the $20.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I only take cash, just so you know.
Okay, all right.
So everybody say nice job, Doug. Yes, Doug. Way to go. So you go,
Well, I
whiskey
appreciate
wizard.
that. I appreciate that, folks. You know, sometimes there's a misfire.
Where's my boy NT? Where's he at?
Wait, do I have to drink because that was a misfire?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I think we all do.
Yeah, everybody has.
Oops.
Everybody has to do a shot on that.
Easy, kids. I got a long day tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah, well, don't wake me up. I'm kidding.
Well, you know, you got to get up early, right?
I do.
Oh my God, it's
Early
only
bird
20
gets
after
the
8.
worm, but it's the second mouse that gets the cheese.
Cheese. Somebody say cheese. I like cheese. Anyway, Nick, yes, you need to come and hang with us. We would love to have you here.
You got it. Okay.
You okay over there? You better turn that thing off.
What did I? Wait. Did I miss something more than that? Like the cheese and the
What?
what?
What are you talking about? The cheese?
He
No,
said
you-
the early mouse gets.
You are getting up early tomorrow, right?
We are getting
But
up
you got
early
a lot to do.
Yeah. And if I can get Karen up extra early, then we're gonna surprise NT. So we'll see what happens.
Dan said, "Great job, whiskey wizard."
Oh,
Suck ass.
okay. So is that Dan Ruth?
It is
It is
Dan
Dan
Ruth.
Ruth. Yes,
So
sir.
Dan and Greg and I, and then ultimately Zach, have a little bit of work that we're doing. And
Yes,
next
we are.
week
Yep.
we'll be going to Royal Havana Cigars, and we're going to be filming a little episode for a future Whiskey Wizard on pairing whiskey and cigars. So look
Awesome.
forward to that in the
It was
future.
nice to see Dan and
Yeah.
Matt last week, and Dan did a
Oh, and
great
by the
show.
way, Matt can join us if he wants to.
Well,
We'll be happy
probably.
to pick
He's
you
scared.
up, Matt,
He'll be
and
scared.
bring you along. So.
So and
He's scared?
Dan's not far from Royal Havana. So
But it'll be interesting to see the two
No,
of you talking and about pairing two things you love: great whiskey and great cigars. And so I'm looking forward to that whole episode and that whole thing. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll learn some things in the process. So.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's something you like to take into consideration is what cigar goes with what bourbon,
So,
anyways. So
I agree with that. I mean, I've done cigar pairings with even desserts. So believe it
Yeah.
or not. So
It's going to be a lot of fun. And
be
you
great
know,
fun.
and I'm not so much the expert when it comes to cigars, and I realize I've got a lot to learn, and I look forward to that whole process. So
maybe I'll take NT with me if he's not scared. But maybe
NT, are you allowed to leave the county?
you allowed to leave the county, NT?
Come on now, NT.
The county ain't flat, son. Just so you know.
Everything doesn't drop off after Geauga County. Come on, Columbus.
So, hey, do you have any news? Gee,
I don't.
no news
I
tonight.
have no news tonight.
No.
I don't.
Okay, should we do some news?
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead,
let's do
son.
some news.
The Barton 1792 distillery constructed and begins their. Boy,
Easy, son. Have another drink.
I need
You'll feel
another
better.
shot.
What's your whistle?
What's your
Here, wait.
Anyway,
keep- right here.
They constructed a distillery, and they're beginning to fill their first barrels into the warehouse. So, 1792 whiskey is they finished construction on Warehouse 33, and they're filling it, as I just said, and warehouses 34 and 35 are under construction and are expected to be completed later this summer and fall. So that's from Barton 1792 Distillery. Now, I know Lauren, I don't know if she's watching live, but she will be watching. She'd be happy that I bring up that the end of all the tariffs that just came through this week.
Right.
The tariffs on Scottish whiskey are over.
Now, I have a question about that because I
Yeah.
saw that. Is that tariffs on imports or exports?
Well, imports of there's no U.S. tariffs on imports to Scottish whiskey, which is good for us folks here in the U.S.
Okay.
A statement from Ivan Mendes, chief executive of Diageo, says that today is a very good day for Scotch and Scotland. We recognize the government's tireless efforts using the UK's newly independent trade policy to deliver the suspension and hopefully in time a permanent end to those punitive tariffs. So, well, you know, we can argue politics, but it's certainly good news that it will be cheaper and we'll have more accessibility to Scottish whiskey.
Okay, because that was my question, Doug, and I'm glad you brought that up because I had saw that in the news, and I thought it was more on exports. So what you're saying
Well, you
is,
can't.
Well, it was
there's no
It's a
Scott.
release of it, so it goes both ways ultimately, right, in these kind of situations. So,
okay, so
so it was an agreement on both sides to reduce tariffs, but on their side it was
For all liquors,
Scotch.
no,
Scotch
but,
only.
but
because
I
we're
don't
not
know.
we're
I
not
don't know what
exporting
the-
any Scotch. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, but and it may have been other things that were relaxed from the U.S. side going into the U.K. But one of the things that resulted from the actions this week was that there was no more excessive tariffs on Scottish whiskey coming into the United States. So once again, that's great news.
So that is great. Do you think that we're going to be getting more? This is not proper English, but do you think we'll be getting different whiskeys that we couldn't get before, or scotches?
That's to be said. I would
I
assume.
don't know, but
I don't think they've
certainly
determined that yet.
we should
We should, right?
be getting
but that
them
may
at
not
more
happen.
competitive prices than we have. So.
Competitive prices, but we don't know if the different scotches or Irish whiskeys, so to say, being imported into the U.S. We don't know if that's actually going to happen. The pricing that we have now from what's on the shelf may be less in price, but we don't know if we're getting any more product. So I guess that's the real question.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
if you think about how tariffs work, it doesn't necessarily have to do with, it wouldn't necessarily mean we're going to get more product. But at the same time, because of the relaxing of any of those impediments to trade,
It may encourage.
it should
some
encourage,
Yeah.
in the long run, it should encourage more selection as well as better prices. So,
And we hope that be the case.
yes.
I mean, you know, if we're still going to get the
Hoping.
same old bullshit, then I think that you know.
Well, we're in the state of Ohio, so we,
Well, yeah.
but I think the U.S. as a whole
Have
is
car,
sort
will
of-
travel.
Exactly. So
Okay.
the Perfect Whiskey Collection was just sold a few Mondays ago. Yeah,
Not
the
to be
per-
outmatched by the Whiskey Roundtable
Well,
whiskey
I think
collection.
even this might even have something over on Geo.
Easy,
It
son.
was a total hammer price of $9.1 million.
Yeah, it's a little
The
more.
collection of 3,900 bottles has become the highest value private collection ever to sell on the secondary market at an auction dedicated to
Secondary.
one single collector's whiskey.
Honey,
How
you've
much?
got a
So-
goal. You've got
How
a
much?
goal.
$9.1 million,
Nah,
3,900
we're
bottles.
0.1 away.
Oh,
Damn
please.
it. Son of a bitch.
So what-
Just a
so
bit
what-
outside.
Included in this sale were a bottle of the Macallan 1926 fine and rare 60-year-old and Macallan 1926 Valerio Ademi 60-year-old.
Wow.
And the list goes on and on with quite a few rare whiskeys, as you might imagine.
I have some really, really rare scotches, but I don't think they're nowhere near those figures. But
Oh gosh, no.
I
That's
have
amazing.
obsolete
Those
scotches. They
those
haven't
were-
made in years.
That was a $900,000
the bottle I gave you.
bottle.
The
that
bottle
one
I
is.
gave you for Christmas. They haven't made that in like 7 years.
Yeah,
You know, so crazy stuff, man.
yeah. I sold it. Just
Perfect.
it was only worth.
Don't worry about it. I got one
$200,000.
more.
He had to buy poppin' records.
I bought 2 just in case you screwed me. Don't worry about it.
Hill Rock Estate
Hill
Solera
Rock,
aged
sure.
single barrel K&L exclusive American whiskey was just released. So,
Nice.
Yeah, it is a Oregon Pinot Noir cask strength
It's supposed to be really good,
cask
man.
finish. Yeah.
Who,
So
supposed to
whose
be
is
really
that?
good.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hill Rock Estate.
not
Solera aged. So
in
we talk
Tennessee or
about Solera. That's
Kentucky, right?
yeah. It's a process of barrel rotation and all that, and some distillers will do it in a big vat where they're always adding a small amount of new whiskey, but some of the whiskey in there is technically decades old
Sure.
and that kind of thing. But again, Pinot Noir cask, that's a little different because
Sure.
very common port, sherry and things like that for finishing, but Oregon Pinot Noir finished cask. So that's very
Awesome.
interesting. We need to try maybe one of those on the show sometime.
All right.
And
So-
Oregon, you said, from the state of
Oregon,
Oregon?
Oregon is, you maybe know, is one of the best places for Pinot Noir in the world. Next to, of course, would be Burgundy, France. So, but
I did not know that. I did, yeah.
Willamette Valley.
and it's only $139.99 a bottle. So,
Oh, cheap at half the price.
so how many do you have?
None.
Oh, none.
Come on, Jennifer Boggs.
Okay.
Pick up your second pour and let's go, girl.
Come on, Jen.
Come on. How about something with
they always
some
say-
nut skins in it? How about that?
Shit.
Sorry.
Isn't that, what was it? Well, I don't
I was
even
gonna
remember
say,
what
we were
whiskey
gonna talk
that
about the
was
Pinot
that had the
Noir,
nut
but-
skins,
Well, they say what's worse than a lobster on your piano is a crab on your organ or something? Did I get that right? I might have screwed it up, kids, but I'm just joking. Anyway, go ahead.
Gee.
Wait, what's the wah?
Oh, yeah, we need
Yeah,
that. We need that.
Thank you very much. Here all
right,
night.
All
Here
right.
all night.
All right. We want to thank all of you guys for watching tonight. If you're with us here live,
You're still with us.
or if you're watching us later on, and maybe many of you aren't still here, but we'll see you again next Friday,
Head for Z
March
Hills.
the 12th at our customary 7:30 p.m. And so we continue with Irish Whiskey Month, and maybe we'll have a Whiskey Wizard actually about Irish whiskey next week.
Well,
Hey.
and the plan is we're going to do Blue Spot.
We are doing Blue Spot, yes.
So,
Yes,
which
indeed.
is, you've seen Green Spot and I've seen Yellow Spot. Blue Spot is the more rare.
Green, yellow, red, and
Yeah, there-
no, it's
but,
blues.
uh,
I think the blue is a cast strength, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yeah, so, Green Spot is the label, the brand, I think. So, Blue Spot must be just a different offering.
Sure.
But that'll be interesting. That's another one I've seen on your shelf.
It's
that
right
I-
behind
yeah,
you, right there. Yep.
that I've always been wondering about.
Hey,
So,
age
look
7
forward to that.
years.
I hope
7
it's
years.
anything close to this Michael Collins we had tonight. I've really enjoyed this. I think we all did. So
You talked about changing your score because after you sipped a little more when we were doing the Whiskey Wizard, you thought, I don't know if I should go over a 4.
yeah, I know.
Were you scared?
I had to do a few
scared?
penalty shots and all that. So
We're gonna
I
drink this
probably
moonshine
should
later. Or what?
Stick with my original score, but yeah, I was tempted to go over a 4. But I can't buy this. I can't get it on my shelf.
It doesn't matter. It
Wait,
doesn't
wait,
matter.
whoa,
Well,
whoa. You can get it on your shelf. My shelf. Really?
All right.
it's not whether or not it's
I'm going to
accessible.
bump it up
I don't-
5/100ths of a point.
Listen,
500ths?
listen.
5/100ths of a point.
Even
making
though I'm
it
Italian,
even
I don't wanna-
4.0.
Even though I'm
That's right, I'm
Italian,
changing it to
I don't
even
want you to think I'm
4.0.
pressuring you. Just sign in the dotted line. Do your thing. What do you got?
He got
Is
a
it-
4.0.
is it- Can you write off that $20?
I will. I'll absorb the
All right.
$20.
Okay.
I'll
4.0.
gladly
I'm
pay you
changing my
Tuesday.
score. I can do it on the Whiskey Wizard. All right, so
So we're all in the 4s on this one, which
yeah,
is
it's for I wasn't
awesome.
expecting that, frankly, when
I was
I
not
was
either.
preparing for tonight. But everybody, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. Even if you're watching, if you watch regularly, if you haven't done that, please do it. Follow us on Facebook. If you have any questions or comments, we love to have conversations even during the week, not just during the show. Comment on Facebook or email us directly at the whiskeyroundtable@gmail.com. And for our closing quote tonight, we have it from Mark Twain, great American author, none the other. He says, "Give an Irishman lager for a month, and he's a dead man. An Irishman is lined with copper, and the beer corrodes it. But whiskey polishes the copper and is the saving of him." So, Patrick Patterson, take that to heart, my friend. All right, everybody.
What we got? We any less on the scroll? What do we got on the scroll before we roll?
Let me see what we got on the scroll. Jennifer Bogg says, in lieu of nutskins, she decided on Angel's Envy Rye.
What's my brother have to say? Anything?
Nick T said, Dago!
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I resemble that remark. I'm
Steve
sorry.
my birthday boy have any comments on there?
Stephen Williams says, Royal Havana, a great shop, good selection of cigars, and a great bunch of guys.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Happy birthday to you, man.
In fact, next week, why don't we go ahead and run our commercial?
We will run.
We could do that.
We'll be there on Wednesday, having some fun. Again, in developing a future Whiskey Wizard, Whiskey Wizard episode.
Drunk.
Thanks to everybody.
All right, we're going to close it
You
out.
want to take us out, G?
Take
All
us
right.
out, G.
All right. Hey, thank you, everybody, who were watching the Whiskey Roundtable. Have a safe weekend. We had a great time tonight, as always. Steven, again, happy birthday. Thank you for the bottle. And Mom and Dad, I love you guys. So, here we are. Whiskey
Happy birthday,
Roundtable.
Steven.
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
See you next week.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing numbs the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee. If whiskey stopped working,